Today's lesson has to do with sinusoidal transformation. Remember that the A is going to affect the amplitude, B affects the period length, C is going to affect the phase shift, and D affects the midline. So this is the midline. This right here is the period. This right here affects the phase shift. It goes left to right. And A represents the amplitude, okay? So please remember that. When we're graphing y equals sine of x, we're going to use 5 points. Remember that we have 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi. So this should have been pi over 2. And this right here is pi. This is 3 pi over 2. And this is 2 pi. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you the first point for sine, the second, third, fourth, and fifth. Cosine, on the other hand, if I were to draw cosine, we know that we have 0, we have pi over 2, we have pi, we have 3 pi over 2, and you have 2 pi. Remember that for cosine, it's 0, 1, and of course at 2 pi it's 1, and then at pi it's going to be -1, and then we have an intersection, so it looks just like this. And this is y equals cosine of x. Okay? So remember that the D, it can either be plus or it could be minus, right? Plus or minus, and we also know that it could be plus or minus C. So the D determines the vertical displacement. Okay, you can either go up or it can go down, okay? So for example, we're going to sketch the graph y equals sine of x minus 3 and y equals sine of x plus 2. So you see the minus 3? The minus 3 is going to shift the parent function 3 units up. So minus 3 is going to shift it down. So our midline should be here. And for sine of x plus 2, the midline should be at 2. So there it is, y equals sine of x plus 2. And here we have y equals sine of x minus 3. The C, we have a plus C and we have a minus C. So the plus C is going to shift it, plus C is going to shift it to the left, and minus C is going to shift it to the right. So we have here y equals cosine of x of 3 over 2. And this should have been here minus 3 pi over 2. This should have been minus 3 pi over 2. And this is 3 pi over 2. And this is pi. And this is pi over 2. And this is 2 pi. So you notice that for y equals cosine, parentheses, x minus 3 pi over 2, there was a shift to the right of 3 pi over 2. This next one, there is a shift to the left. So this is y equals cosine of x plus pi over 2, because this will be negative pi over 2. This is 0. This is pi over 2. This is 3 pi over 2, and this is 2 pi, and this is pi, and this is 5 pi over 2, and this will be negative 3 pi over 2, and this is negative pi. Okay, so we have, it's a shift. It's going to shift left. And it's by a factor of negative pi over 2. So here I want you to do this with me. We have y equals 4 times the sine of x plus 5. So we know that the amplitude is equal to the absolute value of 4, which is 4. The period is equal to 2 pi over b. In this case, the value of b is 1. So my period is 2 pi. The midline is at y equals 5. So let me go ahead and draw the sketch. So we have, here is our graph. This is the y value. This is the x. My midline is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here is my new x-axis. It's going to go up to 5. So that's 6, 7, 8. The period is still 2 pi, and we're talking about sine. So we have 0. And remember, that the period ends at 2 pi. So we have an intercept here. We have an intercept here. And this is 5, so it's going to have to go up. The amplitude is 4, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And I know that there also has to be an intercept at pi. I know that the highest point is at pi over 2, and the lowest point is at 3 pi over 2. So it's going to go up, come back down, and so this is 1, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, so it's going to go down to here, and then go back up. So that would be the graph of y equals 4 times the sine of x plus 5. Negative 2 times the cosine of x. We know that the middle line will be the x-axis, so it should be just y equals 0. The amplitude is equal to the absolute value of negative 2. The period is equal to 2 pi. So let me go ahead and sketch the graph right here. And I know that it's going to be 0. And I know it's going to be 2 pi. I know I have pi here, and I'm going to have pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. This is x, and this is y. Remember that cosine starts at negative 1, but the amplitude is 2. So it's going to start here. It's going to intersect here, and it's going to go up to here, intersect, and then it's going to be here. So it's going to be minimum, max, intercept, minimum. Okay.